So that's back to the story when after I left the shelter. So after I stayed with my friend, we stayed at the hotel at the little pay by weekly hotel for a week, and then I think I went back. Yeah, I think I went back to stay. No, I went back to stay at my friend's. Yeah, well, went back to him, stayed with him again, and then I went back to my friend's house. I went back to his house, and then I think I went back to my baby daddy's mama house. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Then I think I went. Then she dropped me off at my sister's house, and I stayed with my sister from then on until I remember getting a call one day from the apartments that I had applied to. I remember getting a call from the lady. I remember her, and she said that I had an appointment that day, and I didn't know that I had an appointment because the letter was being sent to the shelter. I didn't know because I wasn't in the shelter anymore, so I didn't know I had any mail there. So she rescheduled me another appointment. So I had another appointment, I think in October, I think that year. I forget what year. I think this is 2012. Yeah, 2012. They sent me a letter for another appointment, so I went to my appointment. Like, I was like, guys, I was like, I don't got no ride to my appointment. I can't find no ride. Or whatever. And I was just like, I posted on Facebook I needed a ride or whatever. And my cousin offered me a ride to the appointment. So she came and took me to my appointment. Like, before I left for my appointment, I was listening to that Mary Mary song, Go Get It. I was listening to that whole day. Like, well, not the whole day. Before I left, I was listening to that song. And I was like, guys, I'm telling you, around this time I stayed in this shelter, I was like depressed. I just was hopeless. And I was just trying to listen to me a song that was relatable so I can get through, you know, my ordeal. And I was thinking, well, I just like, I need a place to live. I need to get out of my sister's house. And, oh yeah, my cousin took me to an appointment. Yeah, my cousin took me to my appointment. I went to my appointment. And so, a little bit after that, I had to go and turn in all my information that I needed to turn into the apartment complex so they can get me approved. Tell me whether or not I'm approved. So, I ended up getting approved for an apartment. So I ended up getting approved for that apartment. My first apartment here in Mobile. I paid a $250 deposit. And so it was a little while later. I had to wait till they, I guess, finished fixing the apartment up or whatever. And it was a little while later, and I think we ended up moving out of the house my sister had moved into. She moved again. And then we lived in, then I went to go stay with my cousin, the same cousin who took me to the appointment. Shout out to Bridget. Then I stayed with my cousin for a little while. I think I stayed there for about a month or so. And then I think it came a time where, like, during that time where I stayed there, the people from the apartment complex was telling me that I needed to pay an old gas bill that I had, that somebody had in my name, off. And I'm like, I don't got no money to pay that off. You know, because I was afraid I wasn't going to get the apartment. So it came to time where my time at my cousin's house was ending. So I ended up going back to stay with that friend, that same friend who had me and my baby sitting outside on the front porch in the hot sun. So I stayed with him. That was around in May of 2014, I believe. May of 2014, I think. I think it was either May of 2013 or 14. It had to be 13. I don't know. But I know it had to be 2014. Anyway, yeah, it was 2014. It was in May of 2014. It was around my birthday, because my birthday is May 3rd. So it's around my birthday. I stayed at his house for a while. And then I put an ad on Craigslist. I put an ad on Craigslist, guys, and some people answered my ad. Like, Craigslist nowadays is kind of sketchy. People don't really hardly use Craigslist no more like that anyway. So the lady answered my ad. She said, "Hey, I told her my situation. She said, "Hey, you and your daughter can come stay here. Don't worry about paying us no money right now. Until you can get your money, then you can pay us." And I was like, okay. So it was a lady, a white lady. She came, and I think her and her husband came and got me from my friend's house. Cause by then my friend was still lying and saying people was giving him a hard time about me and my daughter being there. So I can't really call him he's not really a friend right now, because I haven't communicated with him in like years. But they came to pick me and my daughter up, and we stayed there for about 4 days, because the lady from the apartment complex that I had applied to, she kept calling me and asking me about that gas bill. Did I get that situation taken care of? And I told her, well, I actually didn't answer my phone. I was scared to talk to them. I didn't know what to say. I was so scared. And my sister, she called me. She said, "You need to tell them your situation. You don't know what could happen." So I'm glad my sister I'm glad she encouraged me to talk to the lady. So I got on the phone with the lady. She was the office manager or office assistant, and then there was the other lady. I forget what she did. She was the manager of the apartment complex, I guess. She was over the lady who initially called me about the appointment. And so I talked to both of them on the phone, and I told them my situation, and they had already knew that I was dealing with homelessness. And so they was like, "Well, just come on in for your orientation or whatever and get your keys and sign your lease. Don't worry about the gas bill right now." And I was like, really? It had been 4 days since I've been at these people's house. They had about 2 or 3 kids at the time. About 2 dogs. I think they had a snake as well, if I'm not mistaken. They had like maybe 3 or 4 other people living in their house. I don't know who these people was, but they were all men. It was a husband and wife, their kids, and 2 dogs, and a snake, and 3 old men. And I don't know who these 3 people was. And so we stayed in. They had us a room and had 1 bed, and me and my daughter slept in that room for 4 days. And so I made a promise to these people that I was going to use my food stamps to pay, buy food for their daughter's birthday, because their daughter's birthday was like on the 8th of May, and that's the day I had got my food stamps. Well, that's the day I thought I had got my food stamps. But the day that I moved, the day that the lady told me to come up there and sign a lease and stuff, was on the girl's birthday. So when that day come, I checked my card. There's no food stamps on there. I'm wondering why I didn't get any food stamps. I don't know why I did not get any food stamps that day. So I had to tell them that I didn't get any food stamps, so I can't help them out for their daughter's birthday. So I felt bad. And I think they were a little upset with me too, because I think they sent me a message or something saying that I had played them or something, which I did not. I did not play those people, because I kid you not, my food stamps had got cut off, because I didn't know they got cut off. I didn't get no letter or nothing saying that it was even gonna get cut off. I think I didn't recertify or turn in a 6-month report or something like that. At that time, I didn't know, because I didn't get no letters or nothing like that. I did not play those people. Those people thought I played them. She sent me a lengthy text message about it. And I promise you, y'all, I did not play with them people. If I had got my food stamps that day, I would have helped them out. The little girl would have had a birthday. So I packed up all me and my daughter's stuff, and they dropped us off at the apartment complex. The lady's husband, he dropped us off. Him and one of the guys that lived in the house dropped us off, and along with all our stuff, I had to put my stuff inside the office and sign my lease. I signed my lease, and the lady gave me my keys, and I went back and forth between the office and my apartment to take all my stuff from the office to the apartment. And I tell you guys, that was the most happiest day of my life. That was the happiest day of my freaking life. Happiest day. I was so happy to get those keys. I was happy. I was happy. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. I was taking all kinds of pictures of my apartment and all that kind of stuff. And I was just so happy. And me and my daughter had nothing. We just literally just had the clothes on our backs. We had clothes and all that stuff and boxes and bags and stuff, but we didn't have no furniture, not even food. So we had nothing. We had nothing. So we didn't have a stove. I had to go up there and ask them to put a stove in there. I think we had left. I had to have a couple of dollars on me, and I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought some stuff from the Dollar Tree for me and my daughter to snack on and stuff like that, and drink or whatever. And by the time when I came back to the house, they had brought the stove in while I was gone, because they could get in the house, you know, in the apartment. So I'm calling everybody up like, I got me an apartment. I was so happy, guys. I was just so happy, so thankful, so grateful that I finally had got my own place. My own place. I was so happy. And we stayed there. Well, I stayed there for 5 years, up until the end of 2019. And my daughter, unfortunately, she passed away in 2015 at the age of 6. So she was about 4 years old when we moved in. I remember her turning 5. So that was 2014 she turned 5. So yeah, we moved in there in 2014. May of 2014. Yeah. And so I lived there for 5 years in that apartment, and it was sweet leaving the apartment. I was finally able not to be living in the projects. Let me tell you, it was the projects. But I ended up getting on Section 8, and I got Section 8. So I ended up moving out of there. Now, those apartments I was living in was based on your income. They're for low income people. So I ended up moving out of there, and I'm here now in my new apartment. So that's how I overcame homelessness. And yes, I went through many struggles. I went from shelter to shelter, from house to house, friend's house, family house, everything. I went through it all. And I just want to send some kind of words of encouragement to all the people, especially single mothers with children, that if you're dealing with homelessness right now and you're not, finding a place, please pray. Please pray. Keep praying. Keep trying, because you will get there. You will get there. It will happen for you, because I really honestly thought that it would never happen for me. I was done. I was like, no, this is never going to happen for me. I'm never going to find me a place to live. I'm just going to be stuck being homeless for the rest of my life. But it will happen for you. Just because it was happening for everybody else does not mean it's not going to happen for you. You just got to keep trying. You got to put in some footwork too, for that to happen. So pray and put in some footwork. Because I put in some footwork and I prayed. And it happened. It didn't happen exactly when I wanted it to, but it happened. And I thank God for it. I thank God for everybody who let me stay with them, who dealt with me during that time. I thank God for the women and the staff who worked at the shelters that I lived in, everybody that I met in the shelters. I thank God for them. I thank everybody. I thank God for everybody. I thank the ladies who helped me, ladies who worked in the apartment complex at that time. I thank them. I thank everybody that I came across with during my whole time. My best friend, for her let me stay with her and all that kind of stuff. I thank everybody. And I never want to deal with being homeless ever again, because I refuse to live with other people. I refuse to live in somebody else's house. I refuse to live with other people. I do not want to go through it ever again. So anyway, guys, that is the story of how I overcame homelessness. And guys, you can too. Just put in that footwork and keep praying. Keep praying. Okay? So guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, subscribe. And also, turn on those post notifications as well. Bye bye guys. Have a blessed day. Mwah.